I think we'd all pretty much rather be anywhere but here right now. Because that means that Mike was still with us as a husband, father, grandfather, colleague, and really, really good friend. Instead, we're here to remember him, to share our admiration for his accomplishments and his legacy, and really more than anything else to express our love. I deeply appreciate the opportunity to stand up here because, like all of us, I could talk about Mike for hours. And being able to take just a few minutes to remember him is precious time indeed that I really cherish. With those few minutes in hand, I'm going to give short shrift to Mike's professional and intellect because we all recognize it. And others will speak to this. But I mean, it's obvious to his family and his friends that Mike really didn't play too many downs on the offensive line for Michigan. Why do we know this? Because not only did he still have all of Neurons, but he really possessed an absolutely killer intellect, memory, and creativity, and it was kind of embarrassing for the rest of us that Mike knew so much about so many different things. And I'm not going to talk a lot about his ophthalmic legacy, except to say there are very, very few ophthalmologists of our times whose direct impact is thousands of children who would have been stone cold blind, who really, thanks to Mike, can enjoy pretty normal lives. And isn't that really the reason we're all put here on earth, is to have transformative impacts for the better, and Mike certainly epitomized that. And if for some reason you don't believe me, remember this. Last year, Mike Tracy was awarded the Laureate Recognition Award by the American Academy of Ophthalmology. Our profession's highest honor. There's about 150,000 ophthalmologists in the world. Only one person gets this every year. And so when Mike, as some of you know who were there, walked out on that stage in front of thousands of his colleagues, they all rose, gave him a standing O, and kept standing and kept clapping for a long time. And I've been on that stage watching this happen many times. I don't ever remember seeing it happen like that before. Now, I'm not going to talk much about ophthalmologist Mike, but what I'd rather say are a few words about Mike, the human being. And that to me comes down to three things: fun, family, and faith. And first, the fun. Now, I want to ask a question here. Who in this room doesn't have a Mike Tracy story that leads to laughter? I don't see any hands up here. There is not a hand up here. And since I've got the floor and the microphone, I'm going to share one with you. Now, it does not involve whiskey or hot tubs. I've got those too. But it involves fishing and hearing aids. And some of you may have heard this one because Mike loved to tell it. Now, a few years ago, Mike and I were rooming together while we were up in Idaho fly fishing. And as some of you have experienced, sharing a room with Mike is an adventure all to itself. And I'm going to leave that unexampled. George knows this as well as anybody. At any rate, so I'm here, just trying to imagine this. I awakened one morning, and Mike is standing in the middle of the room, partially dressed, scowling, muttering, and hitting himself hard on the side of the head over and over again. And I just said, kind of lay there and watch this for a while. And I asked him what the problem was, and I'm going to keep it clean. So a sanitized translation sort of goes like this: darn. New expensive hearing aids. They don't work, and I can't get rid of this clicking sound. They keep going click, clicking, he starts hitting himself in the side of the head. So I said to Mike, you know, how long has it been like this? And he said, ever since I got up, driving me crazy. So I said to Mike, okay, I wear hearing aids too. I know how to fix this. Just stand there and don't move. So I got out of bed and turned off the clicking ceiling fan. So, he stood there for about 10 seconds without saying anything, and then just started, as we on the mic, started giggling. And then he started that belly laugh. And this was clearly not Mike's finest moment in society. But he couldn't wait to tell everybody else the story. And he would laugh the same way each time, and everybody else would laugh. He had absolutely no pretensions and absolutely loved to laugh. And again, for a big guy, for Big Mike, he had the best giggle when he get going. And I can see heads going up and down. You know, we all know that giggle. So much for fun. Family is the toughest because it meant so much to him, and there's so many family who miss him so much. Some of my fondest Mike memories are sitting in the hot tub at St. John with our mutual good friend Dr. McGowan and his good friend Dr. Lagavulin. And we'd spend hours sharing stories of children, grandchildren. He was really so proud of you all. And then we'd all go out to dinner, and Julie and I would watch Karen and Mike together. Two folks who deeply loved each other and had so much fun together. It was really an incredible relationship. And Karen, we love you. We thank you. Finally, faith. As many of you know, Mike was a man of strong ethics and principles. They guided his professional life and his personal life. I only heard Mike say negative things about people when they really were treating others poorly or were violating the trust that friends or patients had placed in him. He was also a man of religious faith. He talked about it. Not everyone does. I, and I'm sure many others here, were somewhat envious of him. When a friend can hold near and true both faith and science so well, and find reassurance and comfort, and yes, even a wee dram of humor. All of us in this room are hurting right now, particularly Mike's family. With time, we will hurt less. But I predict we will all continue to tell Mike Tracy stories because they're simply the best. They're really, really